evening, it's Miss Tedford here. I thought I'd just go over multiplying fractions for some homework help. We have already done 3 different types of multiplying fractions. We've multiplied a fraction times a whole number, a fraction times another fraction, and then today was our first day going over a fraction times a mixed number. So let's get started with a fraction times a whole number. So our first problem is 1/3 times 12. Now remember that we cannot multiply a fraction by a whole number. So we have to fix our whole number and make it into a fraction. And there is one simple way that we can make 12 there into a fraction without changing its value. And we do that by we simply rewrite 1/3, and then we'll write 12 over, what number do we put it over? If you said 1, you were right. And then the best thing is, multiplying fractions is simply multiplying your numerator times your numerator and your denominator times your denominator. So this would be 1 times 12 over 3 times 2. So our new numerator would be 12 and our new denominator is 6. Now, this is an improper fraction, of course. So we need to simplify it and then make it into a mixed number. So I'm going to simplify first. You could also divide first, that's your choice, but I'm going to make my numbers smaller. So I know that I can divide 6 and 12 by 6. That is a common factor. All right, so that's going to give me 12 divided by 6 is 2, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. And we just learned that we can put a whole number over the number 1 and it doesn't change its value, so 12 over 1 is still 1, so 2 over 1 simplified is 2. Alright, now let's look at one more fraction times a whole number. And this time we're going to flip it, so it's going, the example is 11 times 2/5. Just because there's a whole number in front does not change how we do this. Remember, you can flip your multiplication facts and they should be the same. So 11 times 2 is 22 and 2 times 11 is still 22. So let's go ahead and fix our whole number. We're going to put it over 1 and then we'll multiply by our original fraction, which was 2/5. And now we're going to make this, we're going to multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 11 times 2 over 1 times 5. Okay. So that's going to be 22 over 5. Here we have another improper number, improper fraction, excuse me. And you can see that, is there anything we can divide 5 and 22 by? No, the only thing is 1, so it's already simplified, so we just need to go straight to dividing. Now remember, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can ask yourself, how many times will 5 go into 22? And I know that 5 will go into 20 4 times evenly. And then I need to take 20 away from 22, and I'm left with 2/5. Remember, you keep the denominator. The other way to do this, if you need to look at it, and it's hard to hold all those numbers in your head at one time, is just divide. 22 divided by 5. Well, 5 will go into 22 4 times evenly, because 5 times 4 is 20. We have 2 left over. Remember that we make our remainder our numerator, and we keep this number our denominator. Okay. So we're going to move on, and we will go to a fraction times a fraction. And if you can multiply a whole number times a fraction, fraction times a fraction is nothing. You are not doing anything different. So our first example is 3/5 times 5/6. Now it looks like, I mean, you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to make a numerator, denominator. We're just multiplying across. So my numerator times my denominator times my denominator. I feel like I missaid that. Let me repeat it. You're going to multiply your numerator times your numerator, denominator times denominator. Okay, so we've got 3 times 5, which is 15, and 5 times 6 is 30. Is that simplified? No, it's not. So, oh look, there I can happily divide 15 by 15 and 30 by 15. And your answer is 1/2. One more quick example here. I feel like most of you kiddos have this down pat. Again, here's 2/9 times 1/3. So again, we multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 2 times 1 is 2, 9 times 3 is 27. And it might look at first like you can simplify this, but 2 can't go into 27, so this is simplified. Here's last but not least, what we did today is we multiplied a mixed number times a fraction. So, here we go. Our first example is 1 and 1/3 times 2/3. Okay, so it's a whole number times a fraction. Now, remember earlier we said we cannot multiply a whole number times a fraction. So, we have to fix this mixed number. Now, I'm going to pull over here and show you how I make my improper fractions. Okay, so I multiply, I'm going to write a little multiplication sign, my whole number times my denominator. I'm going to draw a little arrow to show that I'm going to add that, which 1 times 3 is 3, plus my numerator. So 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then I keep my denominator the same. I don't have to fix it at all. So 1 and 1/3 equals 4/3. So I'm taking my mixed number and making it into an improper fraction because I cannot multiply fractions times whole numbers. So I now know that 1/3 is the same as 4/3. I'm going to multiply it by that same fraction. I'm just bringing them down. So here we go. Again, back to fraction times a fraction. Denominator times denominator, numerator. Oh, totally mix those up. So sorry. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. Ask yourself, can you simplify that? The answer is no. And you're done. So let's go on to the next one. Nothing new here. We're doing the same steps we've been doing while we've been multiplying. We are going to take 4 and 2/5 and multiply that times 1 and 3/4. Now, we're going to do the same steps, but this time we have two mixed numbers. So we need to find two what? I hope you said two improper fractions, because that's what we're going to have to do. So again, I'm going to draw in my little symbols to help me remember how to make my mixed number into an improper fraction. So I know that I multiply my whole number times my denominator, so there's my multiplication sign. I bring it up to the top, 4 times 5 is 20, and I add my numerator. So 20 plus 2 is 22. Keep that denominator doesn't change at all. Bringing down my multiplication sign, so I remember to multiply them. Then 1 and 3/4, multiplying again my whole number times my denominator, bringing it up, so 1 times 4 is 4, and add on your numerator. So 4 plus 3 is 7, keeping that 4 for my denominator. Look at there, we're back to a fraction times a fraction. Okay? So here, it's 22 times 7, and it's okay that it's a larger number, and 5 times 4. I'm going to go ahead and do 5 times 4. I know that's 20. And I am going to have to go over to the side and do some scratch work, which is totally acceptable. 22 times 7, 2 times 7 is 14, carry on a 1, 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1, that's 15. So now you have 154 over 20. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide instead of simplifying first. It's your choice. So here we go. So 154 divided by 20. So I know that 20 can't go into 15, but it can go into 154 7 times. And we'll tell you that I did have to do scratch work up on my little note card off to the side to multiply 20 times 7, so it is okay. 0 times 7 is 0, 2 times 7 is 14. So I know that if I go above 140, I'm going to be at 160 if I go 20 times 8, so that's too big. So 20 times 7 is 140. Subtracting. My remainder is 14. 20 cannot go into 14, so it is my remainder, of course. So I'm going to make that my new fraction. Remember that this number becomes your numerator. Your remainder is your numerator. And that remains my denominator. So I have 7 and 14/20. I hope you're going to call me out and tell me that this is not my final answer, because it is not simplified. Think of what you can divide 14 and 20 by. 2. So my final answer will be 7 and 7/10. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, remember that you do have homework tonight. It is for lesson 7. You know I'm bad at remembering the page numbers, so I will get it for you though. Alright, here it is. So remember that homework is page 749 and 750. Alright, and I believe in all of you. You can all get this done, okay? I will see you all tomorrow morning. Happy Friday Eve, and I will see you tomorrow.